Hello and welcome to another draft edition of NFL Experts. I'm Dave Kress along with Louie DB. Today we're going over our top 5 quarterbacks in the 2013 draft. And ironically, we have the same rankings. I don't know if it'll be like that for the rest of the positions.
Most likely not.
Yeah, so we have the same top 5. And with number 1, we have Geno Smith out of West Virginia.
Yeah, Geno Smith, obviously, I think is the front runner. I think it's obvious. The Kansas City Chiefs are very interested in him as the number 1 overall pick. He could fall, though. I mean, honestly, everyone thinks, he's a mobile quarterback. But honestly, he looks, after his second read he's looking to run, he's a great pocket passer, kind of like RG3 was last year, but the only thing is the mobility.
Yeah.
He kind of reminds me more of, mobility-wise, he's a tough runner. He's not all speed. He's big. I love him out of West Virginia. He played great. But it's just not that the first overall pick. I just don't know if he's a first overall talent.
Yeah, but if you
is he a franchise quarterback?
Like if you call RG3 he was a pocket passer mostly in college.
But he's he's got world class speed.
You can't even compare him to a pocket passer. What he did last year.
But Geno Smith is kind of like that. He's kind of like a Josh Freeman where he can get out and run if he needs to, but he won't.
Russell Wilson maybe.
Yeah, his first instinct isn't to run.
Wilson's a little more mobile though.
Oh yeah, Wilson's more mobile.
Yeah.
But Geno Smith's got a great arm. He's got a great QB vision. He can really keeps his eyes downfield. He doesn't always force passes, kind of like another quarterback that we'll say in this list. And he's a great quarterback, and I think he's going to have success in this league. Just depends on where he falls in the draft.
Yes, number 2, we have Matt Barkley out of USC. We said this, I don't know if you watched our Combine, just players are watching the Combine video, but we said how he's really... His team with USC just dropped off the map last year in the NCAA, starting at number 1 and just fell unranked. And so I still think he's definitely a top 2. Like if you're going into you're saying you would have been saying he was number 1, probably number 1 pick. So
yeah,
but I've got him number 2. So do you?
Yeah, I would agree. Also, that. To me, Matt Barkley, he was the number 1. Like you said, everyone was saying was going first overall. He really hurt his stock, like I said in the previous episode. Yeah. He really hurt his stock by coming back in, but he had a chance to win the national championship. He still has an amazing arm. He is mobile. He's big. He's got all the physical. It's just.
Yeah, he doesn't have that big.
His decision making was His decision making was very. He would force a lot of passes.
Well, he looked amazing in junior year.
Oh yeah, he was terrific. And this year, and he wasn't terrible this year.
No.
His whole team just wasn't on the same page all year. But he's a great talent. Honestly, a lot of people are saying he won't fall in the first round, but I think he will. I think he will be a first round quarterback. If not, I'm not going to be surprised. Second round. But, he's still a great quarterback, and to me, he's the second best in this weak quarterback class.
All right, 3, talk about a big arm, Mike Glennon out of NC State.
Yeah, Mike Glennon, very big. Like you said, a huge arm. That's why a lot of people are saying he's in the first round, because his arm is incredible out of NC State. He didn't have a lot to work with there, and he really looked great. The only thing is his mobility. I compare him to Drew Bledsoe.
Yeah.
He doesn't have the mobile. The new quarterbacks now, you need to have some mobility. He honestly is a statue. You're going to need to build a good offensive line around him, and that's what worries me about. It's like a team that, like the Cardinals, a lot of people say that he could go to the Cardinals 7th overall. Yeah. Their offensive line's struggling. If he has a bad offensive line,
totally.
He's going to struggle.
Because he won't avoid it. He won't try to get out away from the sack. He's big. He's a pure pocket passer. That's why it's kind of hesitant to put him this high, but he's got a good arm. That's why, another player who I would probably compare him to, another college quarterback, would probably be Tyler Bray from Tennessee.
Definitely.
Another big arm. Just not as...
A lot of big arm quarterbacks this year. They got some great arms. It's
not last year like Russell Wilson and RG3.
The maturity, I think, is going to be... the maturity was unbelievable last year. How RG3, Luck, and Wilson conducted themselves and how they handled every situation.
Tannehill. Tannehill would be the number 1 quarterback.
Definitely.
Right now,
to me, Tannehill would be the first overall pick. He's been overshined because of how great all the quarterbacks were.
Oh, yeah.
But, the thing with Glennon, too, is he's young, and he's got a lot of time to work on his mechanics. Keep that arm there though. You build around him. I think he could be a franchise quarterback.
All right, number 4, Ryan Nassir, quarterback out of Syracuse, helped them win the Pinstripe Bowl this past season. A lot of people say he'd be a good fit in Buffalo with his head coach Doug Marrone, my favorite team. They hired him so they also hired the Cuse's old offensive coordinator. But we're talking about him as a quarterback. I watched some highlights and film of Nassib. He looks pretty good. Not an extraordinary deep arm, but he can make some key passes if you need him to.
Yeah, I'm gonna compare him to Andy Dalton, the Bengals quarterback. To me, he is a first round talent. I'm not gonna be surprised. Everyone's saying he should go to the Bills because of his 2 Syracuse offensive coaches. Like you said, he doesn't have a great arm, and that Senior Bowl performance where he threw that bad interception didn't help his case. He does have a lot. He's got a lot to gain in the combine, but to me, like you said, he has great accuracy, and he is mobile. And honestly, I think he's the most mature quarterback in this. And he really
he's super smart. He's probably the smartest quarterback in the draft right now.
He does have QB smarts, and that goes a long way in this league. And I mean, honestly, you put him on a team you put him on the Minnesota Vikings, say Christian Ponder, they don't think, you put him on someone where he can go compete to win a job for a team that can make the playoffs. He could be a difference maker, just like Andy Dalton was for the Bengals.
Well, that's where he might impress you if you're a coach talking to Nassib. He knows his stuff, and he's a very smart quarterback.
You go get a guy you say the Bills take him at 8 overall. Then you go get a guy in the second round like Robert Woods out of USC, a great tall receiver, and you start building around Ryan Nassib with Stevie Johnson. You're going to see exactly what happened with Dalton, where your playoff hopes are going to turn fast because Nassib does have the physical and the mental attributes to become a great quarterback in this league.
All right, so now our final, number 5 out of Arkansas, Tyler Wilson.
Yeah, Tyler Wilson's a great quarterback out of Arkansas. He's got a huge arm. But the thing with me, too, with Tyler Wilson is he's kind of like a gunslinger like Brett Favre. Yeah, he forces a lot of passes.
And I was watching highlights just earlier today, and he really was making some tight throws.
Yeah, the Senior Bowl, he had a strong performance, too, having over 100 yards. The thing with Wilson, too, though, he has a big arm, but like you said, it's just his decision-making. He always tries to fit him in tight spaces, but a lot of the time he worked. He had a great senior year that really is going to help him, having over 3,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. So you get, I think he's a second-round pick, though. I don't think he'll be in the first round, but, he's a good pickup to develop. I think he's a great quarterback.
He's okayly mobile. You're not expecting him to run.
No, yeah.
But he'll avoid a sack if he has to.
Honestly, I think a lot of people, good quarterbacks this year, are looking at who's mobile.
Yeah,
because
of what's happening.
Everyone wants to put in different offenses now. And honestly, I don't think you want a pocket passer like Mike Glennon anymore, unless he has such a great upside.
But actually, when you people are saying about this, when you really think about it, think of the past Super Bowl winners, how many of them were mobile? Flacco, Eli,
no,
Breeze,
not really.
Rodgers wouldn't really pick.
I would say Rodgers.
He'd run, but it's not his first option other people.
But he's got athleticism.
Yeah, and then Peyton.
I just think you're seeing the league turn to a college type offense.
Oh yeah.
And I think when you see RG3, even Andrew Luck's mobile, he has underrated speed.
He had tons of rushing.
Ryan Tannehill used to be a receiver out of Texas A&M. Russell Wilson, all these young guys have mobility. Even Christian Ponder, Tim Tebow. Yeah, even Andy Dalton has great mobility. He's fast.
Yeah, and Ponder can run a little bit.
Yeah, Ponder, the great PA role. That's why Kyle Rudolph succeeded so well in the red zone last year. It's just needed. The defensive players getting faster, and the playbook's needing mobility now in a lot of systems.
All right, to sum it up. Number 1, Geno Smith out of West Virginia. 2, Matt Barkley out of USC. 3, Mike Glennon out of NC State. 4, Ryan Nassib out of Syracuse. And 5, Tyler Wilson out of Arkansas.
All right, that's going to do it for today on NFL Experts Draft Edition. Be sure to tune in next time when we do our top 5 running backs. Follow me at DB Sports Talk and Dave at Dave Crest Sports.